And go.
Hey everyone, it's What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi for Wednesday. Today is the March 10th.
Yeah.
2021. We were just talking Dogecoin, PFTs, PF flyers, FYTs, pretty young things. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All I know is that I've never been in an age of comedy where so many comedians have been up so early in the morning. I'm talking about like comedians without kids, single comedians with, very like not great lifestyles are up at 6 o'clock in the morning all of a sudden trying to break the bank with Robinhood accounts and Dogecoins and PFTs. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I hope you guys are making money, but I'm not sure you are. It sounds very volatile. What's the late? Because I mean, just a second ago you were like, Lucas, did you hear about fucking, what was it? GameStop?
GameStop. You know the stock that you sold too early?
I don't want to hear about it. Is it over?
It went up $200 this last week.
And it is down another 20.
Yeah, it got up to 348. We're recording this Wednesday, 9:36 Pacific time. It was up at 9:20 this morning, $348, and then it just nosedived down to 216.
That's because you guys are fucking with it. Do you think this?
I'm not touching GameStop. I told you to do that. I didn't touch it. They locked me out. I tried to get in. Robin was like, "No, you can't buy this. We're not going to let you be this stupid. You can't get in here."
You have do you have any sort of Dogecoin update right now or no? I mean, I could
Dogecoin is up this week. It's currently down today, but it's up about a half of 1 penny this last week, which translates to about $7,000 for me.
And the car crashed this weekend, didn't it?
Did not crash. It spun and the driver saved it. And then it went straight to the moon. And he got some sweet airtime. But I don't want to start the podcast this way. You started us off this way, but I did get us all something when I see you next. I got us all little real Dogecoins. These are real, actual Dogecoins worth a nickel, and I paid $1 each for them. So we're starting off taking a loss, but someday these are going to be worth like $10,000 each.
When the apocalypse hits and we're all like savages, we're all going to be like,
this is how you'll get your meal.
I mean, this is like the millennial version of, I don't know if you ever watch like Fox News or whatever, but they sell like gold edition coins of Mount Rushmore. And it's gold spoons filled with the joy of Christmas. It's like, you're going to be the person buying those fucking things. Those valueless.
No, listen, I thought about that.
Knick-knack,
but those were always like,
bullshit.
Hey, these are worth $100 and you can pay $19.95 and get 4 of them. These are worth a nickel and I paid $1.
I mean, that's 20 times the actual value of what you purchased.
But someday it's going to be worth something.
You think someday it's going to be worth 20 times more than the $1 you paid for it? You think that's going to be worth $20 one day? That because actual coin?
It's going to be the new dollar in this world. Dogecoin is going to be the universal currency.
Look,
probably not, but we'll see.
I appreciate the sentiment of buying us the Dogecoins. I would have rather you, just give me cash if you felt very,
This is cash.
That's not cash.
This is cash. Go to the Dallas Mavericks arena. You can buy anything you want there with it.
Dallas Mavericks arena. I can bring that coin in, and what would I get?
You could get part of a soda. You can get part of a soda, of popcorn.
You could stick your face under the fountain.
Yeah, they'll give you like a 3-second count.
Brenton, I'm not going to Dallas Stadium. Do they really accept Dogecoins for real?
Mark Cuban announced it this last week that they accept it for tickets, for merch sales, for a lot of things. And apparently over the weekend, they had hit like 20,000 individual sales used with Dogecoin. So he's now the world's largest Dogecoin retailer.
I can't wait.
It makes it real.
More
people
wait.
are going to follow.
You think they trained all the people? You ever been to a stadium? The people that work there, those people that work there. One time, I've gone to Yankee Stadium hundreds of times, but like they're not they're trained to do their jobs well. But like one time I went there and the line was forever. And this lady just goes, she wouldn't serve you. She goes, "Is you famous?" I go, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Is you famous?" I go, "I just want a beer and a hot dog." People are behind me. They're like, "Come on, let's go." She goes, "I know you." She's trying to, she goes, "I know you. I know you." I go, "I don't want to, I go, maybe I'm not famous." I'm like, if I was famous, do you think you'd need to ask who I was? Like, that's not famous. She goes, "We go to high school together." I go, "I don't know. I don't believe we went to high school together." Okay. And the line, people are like, nobody knows who the fuck he is. Let's go, lady. Like, do you think that woman's going to know when I hand her Dogecoin and I want to purchase 2 fountain drinks and
There's going to be like a big poster behind her with a dog's face on it that says, "We take this money. Take this money."
Tickets. Okay. Tickets make sense to me. I understand because it's done the majority over the internet. But I was wondering if they actually accepted, like if I wanted to buy a Dallas Mavericks, hot dog, and they're going to accept Dogecoin like that. Those people are not going to understand this
Can
process.
you walk up with a pile of those coins, or do you have to use like a digital wallet? I assume if it's Mark Cuban, the tech dude, it's probably a digital
bring
wallet.
all those Dogecoins and swim around in them. Give me a break, man.
I mean, yeah, how many of those do you need to buy a hot dog?
The
like
new
100?
world. It's a new world, Steve.
New world. You have to carry a backpack full of Leon coins to buy a water bottle.
The Kings of Leon are putting out their next album on an NFT. It's going to be the first like major album release. It's a non-fungible token. It's crypto, but it's like a token that holds art or something tangible rather than actual money. So like Banksy has sold a painting through an NFT for like $300,000. Jack Dorsey is selling his first ever tweet through an NFT. And it's going for like 6 figures.
Nice fucking titties.
So I'm saying, Steve, you could put your jokes in NFTs and sell them and buy a yacht.
Yeah, there you go. Buy a yacht.
Buy a yacht.
I don't know how to put my jokes into my act right now. I wouldn't know how to throw them into an NFT. I don't honestly look. I know I'm sounding very old and very up. I feel pretty solid about the investments I've made so far and the path that I'm on financially. But I like to dabble. I like to get adventurous. But when I don't even understand the acronym for what I'm trying to get into, I'm out. It's over my head. It is. And I understand it'll probably be the way of the future, but I don't see it. Maybe it's the passing of the torch. Like I told you, I think I said last week, like I figured out how I was going to invest in Netflix, Apple, and Tesla. Here's how. Because one day my dad, probably this is 10, 12 years ago, calls me up and he's like, "What's your Netflix password? They stopped sending me DVDs." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They have this online thing. Me and Mom want to watch it. We want to just do the online." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, my dad's into this shit?" And then he bought an Apple iPhone and an Apple Mac and this and that. So it's like all in. I go, "Oh, if it's sunk into my parents' generation and it's deep embedded in them, where like my dad doesn't like, he's like, it's either TV or Netflix, and mostly it's just Netflix." And so that's when I was like, "Oh, this isn't going away." And I guess maybe this is, if I had asked and told him, 20 years ago, "Hey, one day you're not going to even put DVDs into that thing. It's just going to be a computer thing." He's going to go, "I fucking like DVDs. I like picking out the blockbuster ones. Your mother and I go," he would have an excuse as to why it was good and old fashioned, which is great. And I feel like that's sort of the way I'm probably becoming now, is that I'm used to just like looking at my portfolio every morning, seeing what's going on. I like to look at what Elon Musk is getting into. So I'm like, "Oh, I think Tesla's going to do this," and looking at different other options. But to try to go, "Oh my God, I got to figure out what people are going to be buying, what current like that." Like, I thought it was Bitcoin. Why is NFT or Dogecoin more popular, better than Bitcoin? Aren't they all fighting for the same, to be the king of cryptocurrency?
They are, but Bitcoin is never going to be like the actual currency because there's a cap. There's a hard cap, meaning there's only 21 million of them, and it's very volatile. So you can't have a currency that's $60,000 one day, and then the next day it's worth 48,000.
No, I understand that, but Bitcoin, I mean
technically there's a cap on all currencies, because if you just make unlimited currency, it's not worth anything.
Well, no,
exactly.
There's no cap on the U.S. dollar, and there's technically no cap.
Right, which
on
is why
Dogecoin.
which is why people say it's dying, because there used to be a cap on it, and it was fine, and now it's dying, and that because there's no cap. So
well, because we
need a cap for a successful currency.
But there's a soft cap on Dogecoin where you can create 5 billion new Dogecoin every year. So it could become a viable source of currency.
So you can create inflation with your digital currency.
Exactly.
Yes, but you can't put a cap on something because you run out. You can't put a cap on currency because you always need more money coming in.
But based on what you said.
Or your money just goes up in value because there's more demand for it and less supply for it.
There's no perfect system, but Dogecoin is the best system that we could transition to.
I mean, they didn't cover this in Economics 101 at Oneonta University, where I got my MFA in acting. But here's the deal. I do, based on what you just said, I know that Bitcoin to me sounds like the most probably best, and crazy to sound, but best investment, because they seem to be working on the gold standard where it's like, we're only going, like, there's only a certain, like, that's what the United States is essentially supposed to be doing, is like, we only have a certain amount of gold, and gold is valued in this paper, you know, and so we will print as much. And now obviously they print as much as they want now, because that's what China does, and we got to keep up with China.
Well, we're not tied to the gold standard anymore.
We're not tied to the gold standard, so it's now just fucking get the money and run, $27 trillion deficit. But none of that's good.
No.
None of that's good. So what I'm saying is,
what I've read is Bitcoin is a great long-term investment. Try to get like at least 0.01 of Bitcoin, because it's going to go up to 500,000, maybe even a million for one Bitcoin. Dogecoin is an investment where if you put a chunk of money in now, it might be $1 in a year, and you'll get like a 2,000% return.
How the hell do I get okay.
You get a digital wallet. Steve, get a digital wallet.
Bro.
Look, you got your wallet, right?
I only you want to know what I do in my life?
Digital wallet.
I do this, okay? I'm going to first flip my license upside down so we know what. All my eggs are in the basket, okay? In the one basket right here. It's all right here, okay? This thing goes bye-bye.
It fits in here.
Everything.
You put it in here.
My fear is just that, like, there's so much volatility in the internet itself, and there's so many companies that can control the internet. So if your money is tied to the internet and nothing else, then they can take your money, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's why we have literal cash. That's why we have these. These go under the mattress.
But the very few people actually have those. It's all about the digital currency, right? That's the whole point. It's a cryptocurrency.
Wow, the voice of reason. Look at that. The voice of reason.
So if the internet crashes, you're fucked. But Steve and I will still have a couple of ones in our wallets.
I think if the internet crashes, we're all fucked.
I guess
everything's tied to the internet.
On my desk.
Look, yeah,
everything's tied to the internet.
My fear is that
if the internet crashes, they can't ring you up. Cash registers are tied to it.
Yes, but they can take cash.
No, because they can't open it. They can't even they got to hit the little buttons and then it pops open.
That doesn't shut the internet. That takes electricity.
No. Everything's tied. Everything's tied in. Everything is tied in now.
I'm pretty sure most cash stores you can open with just
we are wired.
Brenton, you haven't left your fucking house in a year. You don't even know what's going on outside. Okay, you have no leg to stand on when it comes to understanding the value of what's going on outside in the real world. The people out in the real world right now, they're not buying. Some places don't accept cash because they don't want to touch it, but it'll go back to that. People
and that's
will want
technically
cash.
illegal. If you fight that, they'll take it. Technically, it's illegal not to accept cash. It's legal tender.
So my fear is this: if it's all in my phone and my computer, whatever. You saw what happened with my Instagram. What the fuck's going to happen when one morning I wake up and all my Dogecoin's gone? Who am I calling then? You think I'm going to call CAA and be like, guys, my Dogecoin's gone? You know, and they're going to be like, go fuck yourself. You know? So I again, we're playing with things I can't control. Someone breaks into my house and wants my money, I shoot them with a gun. Do you understand? If someone steals my Dogecoin or my Young Fine Titties or whatever you want to, what PFTs, I don't know how to get that back. I don't know who to call to try to get that back. Is it Ray Donovan? I don't know. These are all things that are outside of my pay grade. And I already have high blood pressure. Okay. I can't add more things to what I want. It's too much. I already have too much. I'm worried about fucking Matt next week when he finds out he chose a racist girl as a hello. I mean, do you not see what this fucking guy? I've never felt bad for a Bachelor till this season. This guy, I feel bad for him, dude. I feel like he almost pitched a perfect game and like doing the right thing, coming off as a good guy, not a total D-bag. And then I
didn't like what he did to his dad, though.
What do you mean?
Don't have that talk on national television.
Bro, sorry, dude. You sold your soul when you signed the contract, okay?
His dad didn't sell his soul.
Well, his dad should have been around more, and otherwise they wouldn't have had a conversation to be. It would have been a real boring one if it was my dad.
Maybe like a 5-minute off camera. Hey, let's do this. Let's talk about this.
My dad would have been
they
like,
made him look like a real schmuck. And
my
then
dad
for him to go, look, Dad, I'm not going to be like you. I'm not going to cheat. And then the next 45 minutes are us watching him cheat on 2 other women. He slept with all 3 of them. He slept with all 3 of them. So he's he did. He slept with Bree and then he sent her home.
They all seemed to go well, those dates. They all seemed to go real well. I was just thinking about what my dad would say to me. He'd be like, there's black ones and white ones still? My God, what an animal you are. He would want to know every detail, all the salacious fucking shit. It would be gross. But anyway, of course he did because they all liked him. He had built a relationship with all of them. I mean, who knows? I'm sure he probably fucked them all. But maybe he just kind of fooled around with them and laid in bed with all of them, or just fucked the ones he knew he was going to take home. Like take on. Maybe he fucked maybe he boned out the 2, and then Bree, he just sort of laid there and they kind of hung out together.
Bree was glowing. Bree said something like, we explored new areas of our relationship. So that to me was like she ate his ass.
Well,
like stuff went down, and then he sent her home.
I mean, you could be just having sex could be exploring new areas of the relationship if you've never done it before, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
I would say I'd start there.
Dry humped. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe she just saw his penis.
Maybe that's why she got sent home. Maybe she saw it and like laughed.
Oh, who knows? I doubt it.
That'd be pretty mean.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. This guy looks like he knows what the hell's going on. I like that one scene where he's like, I can't get out of the hot tub. Where was that, last week or whatever? He's like, I just can't. I mean, that would be, let me tell you something. If my wife, like if we're on the couch, right, and she like puts her arm on my, like around me or whatever, I'm fucking boned up, 100% chubbed up to this day right
That's
now.
why she's your wife.
In the middle of the podcast and just was like, grab my leg. I would be so hard.
The podcast would
seconds.
be over.
It would be the sloppiest pod of all. We'd have to switch to a Patreon account.
This is now an OnlyFans.
This is now an OnlyFans page. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how, but remarkably, I will say this because I do get asked this a lot. I never would when I do scenes and stuff, whenever I did scenes on the league, never. It's like my dick knew it was at work. It's like it knows
Probably
when it's at work. It's like, yeah.
I think you were focused on something different.
Well, it's really not like, I know it looks and very sexual and like very hot and shit. It's not. There's so many people there. Like, would you ever like want to make out with a guy with a grip, with a guy like a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and like a fucking like
a boom pole,
like holding there like that? Like, he's like, all right, eat her ass. Staring at you. I mean, they make it like close set. I never felt creeped out, but like it's still you're at work. So but yeah, on the regular, yeah. with my wife, forget it, dude. Forget it. Bone City, USA. So I don't know how this guy doesn't do it all the time. I'm glad they showed that. He definitely had sex with all of them. All of them. Every single one of them. And good for him. He cultivated relationships with them, you know? Dude, I don't want to say anything, but like, you know, it's a part of life. Maybe, you know, it could be part of his decision-making process. Maybe he fucks for real. Maybe he's like, I'm a professional. I like to do some shit. I like to get down. You know, there's people that like, you know, porn people that can do it. And so if you don't have someone that's compatible with that, you're in trouble. So maybe that was a deciding factor for him. And, you know, good for him. But wait till he finds out that one of these girls wore a Ku Klux Klan outfit or whatever she wore at that antebellum party.
It wasn't that bad, but
it was pretty. I mean, it looks like he finds it out. And do you think he fights Chris Harrison, or do you think
he finds it out and then immediately grows his beard?
No, what I'm like, do you
like Kaepernick grew out his fro just to say, like, I'm not a part of this.
When he finds out, do you think that he says like, do you think they tell him the whole Chris Harrison thing too? Like, and it came out on a podcast where Chris Harrison.
It would be impossible for him not to find all of that out because he gets his phone back. Like, they shot this a few months ago and he's just not allowed to like be public. He's not allowed to be seen in public or be on social media and spoil anything. So he knows everything. So I think if next week is the final episode, but then the week after that is the after the final rose, I think that's when it's live and we find out like everything that's up to date, current, what's going on, and if he's still with whoever he picks. So that's when all the shit will come out.
I mean, so then what do you think happens next week? He just kind of loses it, or just?
I think next week he loses it not because of the girls. He loses it because of his mom, and she's like, "Well, you're being stupid being on this show, and love isn't real." And then he has his little tantrum, and I think he picks Rachel. But then the following week, we're going to find out the real shit of how he takes the news that Rachel is doing questionable things, and Chris Harrison defended those things and is off the show. And that's when we're going to see the new host, and we'll hear the decision if he's actually going to try to make it work with Rachel or if he's just going to move on, which I still think he is. And he's going to end up with Heather. And that's going to be a thing for like 5 minutes so they can get a little bit more time in the limelight.
Wait, Heather from
Heather
the blonde?
Minivan Heather. He'll break it off with Rachel. He'll go to Heather. It's all a cesspool. It's the same 20 people just fucking each other and trying to stay on top.
We have to be done with this. We have to be done.
This is it. This is it.
Like this is heroin, and we have to be. We're done.
We are off the show. As long as Chris Harrison's not the host, we're not watching.
We can't do it anymore. There's no guardrails. You know, I need something with some sort of standard set of rules. You can play around with them. You can fuck around with them. But give me some sort of, don't bring in, this is a soap opera now.
It's been very soap opera this season. I think
I can't bet on a soap opera. I can't try to.
They've done an over editing job, and they kind of ruined it. Like usually they showcase the personality more. They haven't really he's like just a robot. He's like a good robot. And
yeah.
They just show the stuff. They don't show any of him being real. Like the bloopers from a week ago was more real than the entire 9 episodes that preceded it. So this season has kind of sucked. They focused on the bullying stuff, and it was lame.
Speaking of real, do you know they're doing the Real World, the first one again? They're doing a reunion one.
Is Theo Von going to be back on it?
No. The original cast of the Real World, 30 years later.
Oh, I was a baby.
What? You did? Oh, 1991, dude.
Yeah, I was a baby. I don't think my parents weren't
Pedro,
watching me have Real World at 3.
Pedro was like, you know, the original guy, because we didn't know what AIDS was. Pedro, I think, was before Magic. So they put Pedro in this house with Puck. Oh my God, I remember the first fucking Real World, a couple of these guys. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, Puck.
Should we watch the Real World reboot and you can teach us all about it, Steve?
Pedro's dead. Pedro died, passed away of AIDS. And then a couple of other guys. I mean, they're all. I think they're going to live together again. I think it's a Paramount Plus show or something like that. But they got like super into race and super into culture shit and sexuality, real like quick. First people to ever do it, I think. So I'm interested to see like 30 years later what these people are into now. There was I'm trying to remember the other people. There was a black guy from New York who was a writer, I think, or a journalist. I'm trying to remember who else was on the show, but I just saw a commercial for it. But it'd be, 30 years later, which I honestly thought when I brought this up that I'd be talking to people that watched the first, that were born when the first one came out.
You're talking to a bunch of millennials.
Yeah, I was 14, and it was. Like,
I was
crazy.
not even born yet.
That's amazing. Yeah, look at them.
Look at those.
Because
clothes.
there was like there was a Texas guy. I mean, they put it together. This is like the first unscripted television show where they're like, we're gonna put some fucking wild. Yeah, he went on. What's the guy? Eric Nies, is that him up there? The good-looking white guy in the top.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he went on to be like an MTV like VJ or something like that. Yeah, holy shit! Like there was love. People fell in love and shit. Damn. And then I guess they're coming back. I'll watch, but you guys, who cares? You guys are like, we weren't born yet. We don't care, old man. We'll watch it on our Dogecoin.
I'm excited to watch these 50-year-olds living together again.
I don't know if they're going to live together. I mean, you watch the Jersey Shore, don't you?
I never. I try to avoid. Up until we started the podcast, I didn't really watch reality TV.
What'd you say? I didn't hear it.
I don't watch. I
didn't
watch reality TV up until this podcast. Like I avoided everything.
Never once.
I mean, maybe an episode or two, but I never really. There was no show that I got into. I didn't get into the Kardashians. I didn't get into the Osbournes. Any of that stuff. Didn't watch any of it. Like
Sean!
Real Wives of whatever. Didn't watch any of that.
You didn't watch any Real Housewives, dude?
No.
Oh my God.
No, nothing.
You're not married then. You're not married.
Well, not yet.
Housewives of Jersey, Housewives of Orange County.
Dress. We've watched all these. We ran out of Say Yes to the Dress. We're rewatching Say Yes to the Dress.
That's crazy, dude. You're watching reruns of Say Yes to the Dress.
Say no to the show.
Yeah, that's a fucking nailed it, Lucas Hurl from downtown. Lucas came over to my house this weekend. Speaking of fun, we had a little outdoor in the garage UFC watch party. A couple of people came over, party.
I got some passive aggressive tweets or texts from David Taylor.
David Taylor, by the way, does not think Woody Allen is a molester. That was the greatest takeaway. I mean, we're watching. There was some good fights, but that was the most shocking thing that we saw. And it was like, what? Like we're watching Peter Yan that fight, and he knees this guy to the head while he's down, and the guy obviously won the fight because it was an illegal head kick. And I'm like, that was less jarring than when David's like, nope, I don't think he did it. We were like, Dave, everybody was like, come on, dude. Like, I understand that documentaries are one-sided, but this is a very, like, he's kind of in it too. And nothing that he says is very reassuring. And he was just like, I think he may have raped one person, Sun Yi, and that's it. That's the one rape he's done for his entire life. And honestly, I commend him for, like, he was like, I commend him for if he is a pedophile, at least he only did it to one person. That's his rationale of like, he could have been doing it to many, many people, but he just did it to one person.
Commending a pedophile for his incredible self-control.
Because he doesn't believe that he did it to Woody Allen did it to Dylan Farrow. You know, obviously he understands that Sun Yi and him had a probably not cool relationship in the very beginning, but obviously, you know, I think he's like, oh, it worked out, so it's not really bad, which is, you know, kind of, you know, crazy, but he was very, you know, steadfast in his thought on it. He was like, yeah, I don't think he did it at all. And I was like, that's crazy town. I mean, this was obviously before the third one came out, which is, I heard, even worse. I haven't got all the way through it. I fell asleep. Is that bad? We started watching it and I was tired, and it was like, you just, you know, I'm hearing these like, but Woody, you know, they have these phone calls. Woody, how could you do this, Woody? Woody, how could you say I was a bad mother, Woody? And he's like, well, I don't want to hear it. But Woody, how could you say it? How could you do it, Woody?
It's like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you listen to these calls, everything he says is like, you'll understand when that happened, and it's all inaudible. It actually says inaudible after. But she everything she says, yeah, she's like, no, but everything he says is inaudible. So I just picture him like, so yeah, it's easy to fall asleep to that. It's like, you know, background noise. Anyway, yeah, it was, we watched, it was a good fight. So, the Peter Yan fight, he nailed that guy right in the head with the illegal kick. Amanda Nunes is unstoppable. She's a beast. I don't know if there's a single woman in the world that could beat her, and probably very few men. And then the last fight, Israel Adesanya, was great. I mean, he just got outweighed, you know, he was outstrength, outweighed, outmuscled, put up a good fight, but just, you know, he went up in weight big time for him, and it showed. So he probably won't do it again, but it was something to give it a shot. And it was a good fight. It was entertaining for everyone. And we had a lot of laughs. Lots of laughs. Yeah, I think John Little agreed with the fact that Woody, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I think David even had a couple people that were like, yep, I agree with him.
They have a private Facebook group now.
Oh, did I tell you this too? This was coming off of, so we had we're doing the Little League started up here. And I don't know if this is if I'm a good parent or a bad parent based on this story, but so I'm coaching with my friend Rob, and he brings his son over every Tuesday, and we do like an outside, you know, hitting session with the boys and a little pitching and this and that. So our Little League starting up, we're coaching together, and someone on the board said, hey, why don't we honor the Negro League's 100-year anniversary by just, we'll call each team, you know, we'll name them after the Negro League. So this was a new idea. And originally our team was going to be the Mariners. We were going to be the Mariners this season. So the boys are warming up, and the boys are warming up. They're throwing the ball to each other. And Jonah my son goes, hey, I can't wait to be the Mariners this year. The Mariners are cool. And then my friend Rob goes, well, you know, I think we're going to do something different this year. I think we came up with an idea. We're going to honor the Negro Leagues, and we're going to be named after the teams of the Negro Leagues. And I guess I think his son was like, which team are going to be? He's like, the Kansas City Monarchs. Could it be the Kansas City Monarchs? And his son goes, what's a monarch? And then Jonah, my son, goes, forget the monarch. What's a Negro? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh boy.
The young and innocent.
Yeah. I go, oh buddy, we've got a lot of explaining to do. I go, yeah. So I had to explain to him first, you know, the derogatory name, and then where the league came from. And then I was like, oh, I think Satchel Paige was on and he was like, oh, Monarchs are great. And he's like, yeah, I love it. I want to be it. But that to me, I was like, I don't know what that said. That's good though, right? I feel like that's a good pair. Like he has no idea, right?
If you explained it to him, yeah. I mean,
yeah. And as long as you also explained to him that he shouldn't use that word ever in conversation.
Of course, yes.
And yeah, that's great.
But it's tough when you're like, when you're talking about like all the kids are going to be like, we're named after, like they've never heard of the teams that they're playing for. And so I don't know. It's going to be a rough one, but I think that's good that he's never heard that word before. It'd be much worse if he's like, oh, my grandpa says that word, whatever it is, you know, it's like, yeah. So I think we're doing all right. That's
yeah,
my
you're doing
point.
all right. I mean,
Doing
that's
okay.
that's fun though. When I was playing Little League, we were never named after like actual teams. We were just
No.
like, I was a dealership. I was a car dealership for like
Yes.
8
Yeah,
years.
you were whoever sponsored you, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
Club Video because that was the video rental place that was in our town. Club Video.
Foster's Chevrolet.
Yeah, those were the teams that you normally played for. Like, it wasn't until I came out here, I think, and well, it wasn't until I had kids again that I was like, oh, they shift to like they get like real jerseys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to try not to do that because of timing this year, but yeah, they get like with their names on the back, and because it's Little League, I guess the Major League doesn't break their balls about logos and stuff like that. But yeah,
Steve,
it's
I
yeah.
would like to sponsor your team. I will get your team jerseys.
We're the Doji coins.
You're the Dogecoins. You're the dogs.
Is it Doji or Doge?
Dogecoin.
It's doggy coin.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, but they spelt it really wrong. Like there's 2 G's.
No, there's 1 G.
Is 1 G the Wi-Fi network that you're working with right now, or is it?
Do I keep freezing?
Oh shit! Is it me?
He's not freezing for me.
I'm not. Yeah, I think it's you, Steve. Your camera keeps refocusing too.
Oh my god! It just said your internet connection is unstable.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So you're gonna blame me? I paid Time Warner in Dogecoin this last month. I'm getting broadband. I'm
What if
getting whatever
his-
the Crystal
his video
5G.
Died after he said that. I paid my bills in Dogecoin. Boom, the house collapses.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not happy about this at all. The kids are at school. Who's sucking on our Wi-Fi? It's probably the rain. It started back up.
My
again.
roof is. I got like a leak or something going on. It's bad. There's probably mold in here.
Let me tell you something. I'll send my wife over there right now.
With an
Yeah, get
umbrella.
her over here.
I
Let
told
her
you
check
last week.
Let her check the roof.
Midnight last night, I hear people she's walking around the house. I go, what the fuck are you doing? She that's when the rain started. She's like, I'm looking for leaks. I go, go to bed. Okay. You've done everything you can do. There's nothing else to be done. Okay. If it's gonna rain in the house, it's gonna rain in the fucking house. What are we gonna do now? You gonna go sit on the roof now with an umbrella? Get into bed, please. So I'll send her over there. She does good work.
Yeah. By the way, why does it only
she's
rain
not
when we
licensed.
record this podcast?
Yeah, what
Is it a
that?
sign
I know.
from God? It doesn't rain in LA, but every time
Probably,
we record, it's raining.
Probably. It is going to rain the next couple of days. We need it though. We get a good little bit of rain coming in is nice. I got a golf lesson on Friday morning though. We cannot have it rain then. I'm
I was
tightening it
gonna
up.
say I have movers coming on Friday. Can it not?
No. Pasadena City Championship is in 2 weeks. Gearing up, 3-day
back's feeling
tournament.
good?
The back feels good. Neck feels good. Swing feels good. Going to work on the short game and putting this week. Shot okay yesterday. Shot an 83, I think, which was good. But yeah, tightening it up for the Pasadena City Men's Championship coming at you in 2 weeks. Oh, speaking of golf, the Players Championship is this weekend. And before I talk about that, guess who won their fantasy league this week? Bingo!
Woo!
Minus 26. I got my money back. That's all I told Lucas. I go, that's all I give a shit about. Because if you win 1 week, you get your money back for putting it in. So it's like, fuck yes. I'm in the red. Now I'm going forward. I'm going to get that money.
Nice.
And so, yes, I had Jordan Spieth. I had Tommy Fleetwood. A lot of the guys I mentioned last week, if you listen, Jason Kokrak came and tied 5th. All right. Motherfucking Louis Oosthuizen. You hear me, Louis? Look at me. I see you, Louis, with your fucking bad teeth. You withdraw the day of a tournament again, and you're muerta, okay? You fucked up my daily fantasy. My DraftKings was all fucked up. I was set up, bro. Set up. Okay?
That's why you always got to check it 30 minutes before.
Motherfucker. Do you know what it's like when you put in
I know.
a thing,
I know.
and then
I
literally I got to fight 5-6 people all weekend long with 5 guys? I don't give a shit if you're fucking what your problem is. If it's Thursday morning and you don't feel good, you go fucking play, Louis Oosthuizen. You play. It's golf. What's the worst that can happen? Hello? You cost a lot of people money this weekend. I'm pissed. Fucking Louis Oosthuizen pulls out an hour before the goddamn tournament. One of the favorites. Go fuck yourself. Oh, got me going now. He's in it this week. I did not take him. I took Tommy Fleetwood because if I'm going to take a goddamn British person, it's not going to be a cunt who has a fucking hair up his ass and can't go out there and play golf.
Maybe he was upset about all the Meghan Markle news.
Another thing, dude. Enough with these British people. Enough.
Thank you.
Enough with them. Enough with caring about them. Enough with Piers Morgan. Enough.
I've never understood the fascination with the royal family. I don't know. That's that first of all,
because
they're
we don't
not
have
our royal
one.
family.
We defeated the queen.
Also, monarchies are inherently like sexist and racist and all this. And everyone's like, oh my God, the queen is racist. I'm like, why is this a surprise to anyone? She's an old white lady. Of course she's racist.
Who's, by the way, there's never been a black person in the entire thing.
Yeah, like, hello, is this a surprise to any of us? I mean, good on Meghan Markle for being like, no, bitch, and like calling it out, I guess. But like, I still just, we have issues within our own government we need to handle, and we should worry about that before we worry about someone else's.
Not since the Duck Dynasty guys chimed in about race was I like more like, yeah, what'd you think they were going to say? What did you think these people were going to think? They've never had a person with any sort of pigment whatsoever in the entire building. And it might not have been a racist thing. They might have just been like, we don't even know what, like, how do you comb a black kid's hair? Like they don't know. What kind of brush do we buy? It could have been just straight up ignorance, but you had to expect it. And I mean, but Oprah was on her game. If you watch this fucking thing like I did, I watched it with my wife. She was on her game. Her reactions, dude, it was perfect.
She's a great actress.
There's a reason why. Yes, there is a reason why. She's not the best interviewer. She is a good interviewer. She does the thing where if she wants to know something, she'll ask it twice in like, come on, and then she'll let it go. She will never try to like. If you ever listen to like Stern, he will backdoor that question in somehow or another later on, make you so comfortable that he can now he moves the bar of comfort so far that whatever you were uncomfortable with in the beginning, you're past it. And if he brings it up again, you're like, oh, I'll talk about that. So, but her reactions were perfect. Every single one of them. Every one of them. She made the interview worth listening to because it wasn't shocking to me, but it was so shocking to her that's what made it funny for me. It was, but again, I'm done with it. I don't give a fuck. Like, okay. And to be honest, I had a lot of questions, which then I did a little like how are these guys affording to live on their own? Are they getting
she has 30 million euro inheritance?
When she has money, she was on TV and stuff for a long time.
She has a little bit of money, but he got
let me tell you
million.
something, Em.
They cut him off, but he already had 30 million.
No, yeah, I mean, I know he has money, but like she's not like completely empty either. She's
not broke, but she's not. I know a lot of people that were on that a basic cable show for 7 years, and you know what I'm saying? Like I know, and I don't have a house in Montecito for $15 million.
Did you marry a prince with a $30 million bank account?
No. So then again, it goes to my point of like, hey, these are the people that set you up, and now we're going to cunt on them now later on, which, and I understand they're making their own money now. Apparently he signed a fucking Netflix deal for $100 million.
Yikes.
Because Prince Harry's such a great actor, writer, director, and producer.
This is why Netflix content's getting bad.
Well, it makes me think. It literally was like, I was like, Trey, I told because she's like, they have their own money. I go, no, they're bitching about their parents and they're living on their fucking parents' dime. That's a cunt move to me. And she's just like, no, and then I look, she was like, yeah, he signed $100 million Netflix deal. That's how you afford a house in Montecito. That's how you do it. And your own security.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're thinking that $100 million, $100 million to a guy who, what is he going to do? What's going to be the thing?
Stand-up special.
Honestly, Lucas, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be. Prince Harry presents. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be, I'll do it. It'll probably be me, 4 gingers with beards.
No, it's going to be, it'll be a showcase called Thou Ready.
Yeah. And,
It'll probably be something starring Meghan Markle.
Produced by Meghan Markle. Like, that's supposed to add some sort of
and starring
gravitas to the fucking project. The girl that was in Suits and The League? She's now producing a documentary about AIDS. Oh, give me a fucking break. Come on. $100 million to a bunch of millennial brats? Give me a fucking break, man. Give me a break. I'm with Piers Morgan. I'm ready to walk off this show. That fucking guy. I was like, what is he so pissed about? And then I found out he dated Meghan Markle. He went on a date with her, and she sort of was like, "Yeah, you're
didn't
cool."
Call him back or something.
Then she met Harry like right after the date, and then they took off. Yeah,
she ghosted him.
Like, honestly,
That's
explains so much about his like hatred of her, but also like so much about her. Like, whatever. I don't want to badmouth anyone, but why are you dating a 75-year-old British man? Why?
Apparently she's into Brits.
Okay, young Brits though. Young Brits, probably, right? It's not.
I mean, it seems like she was maybe toying with the idea of an older Brit, but then the younger Brit caught her eye and she swerved.
Yeah, or maybe it's just harder to land a really hot American. Might be easier to land a hot or like a not a fine looking British person that happens to be royalty.
I mean, I don't know many girls that hear the opportunity to date a prince and would go, nah. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a weird fairy tale thing to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised she didn't call Piers Morgan back.
You would marry a prince?
No, I don't think I would, especially knowing what I know now. But I think like most little girls in their head are like, I'm going to be a princess. And like, there's a part of you,
girl
even
under
as
12 would say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Only,
and, like,
only Prince Andrew.
That as an adult, that's like
worries about what the little girls think. Prince Andrew, that's what his pickup line is like. You can be a little princess, right?
I'll make you a princess.
You can be that little. Yeah, I can make you a princess. I just think it's weird that she dated fucking that. I mean, anyone that dates weird. Like Piers Morgan, Simon Cowell, like old British guys. You want to date fucking, Hugh Grant or Pierce Brosnan. Like that makes sense to me. Those are fucking, good looking older men. Piers Morgan looks like a fucking potato. He looks like, I dare not say Mr. Potato Head. I can't. It's just Potato Head now, right?
Apparently.
It's just Spudhead.
Until
That's what
next
Piers
week
Morgan
when
looks
Spud's
like.
Offensive, and we'll have to kill that too.
Piers Morgan looks like the potato head that they're trying to create, the gender neutral potato head. That's exactly what he looks like.
There you go.
Yeah, he looks exactly like a potato head. And I'm glad that they they can have California and live up there in Montecito. That's where I'm glad they live there and not like West Hollywood or fucking someplace where they're jamming up all the traffic and all that shit because they want to go shopping. Go live up where the rich people live. The real rich people, the super wealthy live up there. They don't live down with us. Okay? They live up there in Montecito with fucking, I love how like in the beginning, like, Oprah's like, we're neighbors. And she's like, yes, we are. And she's like, this isn't even either of our houses. And look how palatial it is. It's like, this is our backyard. It was pretty like, oof, to start off with. But then when she asked, and they asked about the color of the skin of the baby, and Oprah was like, it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely worth watching that whole thing. It was better than the NBA All-Star game.
Did you see that clip of Meghan McCain saying something about it on The View? And then they cut to Whoopi Goldberg, and Whoopi just goes,
no, what did she say?
Funny. I don't even remember. I was trying to remember this last night. Meghan McCain says something like kind of some like just ditzy and weird, and Whoopi just like has the most honest reaction in her face, and I don't think she realized she was on camera. It was pretty funny. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh my God. Yeah, they don't like each other. Well, none of those people like each other. But yeah, no. What was I saying?
NBA.
Fuck. NBA.
All-Star
yes.
game.
The NBA All-Star game. Did I hear you bet on this, Brenton? Did you gamble on the NBA All-Star game?
I did last year. I didn't this year.
Okay, thank God.
But it wasn't. I didn't gamble on like who's going to win. I just played DraftKings.
Okay. And you could build a fantasy team based off of.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. 60% of the shots taken were 3-pointers.
Yeah.
60%. It really wasn't even basketball. Did you watch any of it?
I did not watch this year. No.
There was not a single ounce of defense play. I watched the first half and then I was like, I'm getting what this is. I mean, and because there's no winner and loser at the end of the game, they really weren't going to ever tighten up. The only time they ever tightened up is if like the end of each quarter, but no one was ever close. It wasn't like it ever came down to like a bucket at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
Some team was always up by like 8 or 10, so it didn't matter.
Well, the only All-Star game worth watching anymore is baseball. Everything else, it's the same in hockey. They don't play defense. You just watch the skills competition. Pro Bowl, they're not trying hard. They don't want to get hurt. You just watch the skills competition. You see how great they are as athletes. Like hockey, the skills competitions are insane. The slap shot, the fastest slap shot, the just hitting the targets in the corners of the net, basketball with the 3-point and the dunk contest. Like baseball is the only one where you can play hard and not really worry about getting hurt because there's much lower risk and you can still see a really good game and it means something.
Yeah. I mean, there have been good games. There've been, you don't want anyone getting hurt. You definitely don't want a pitcher getting hurt or throwing extra innings and stuff in an all-star game. But yeah, you probably just move the game along. You got enough players to keep everyone fresh. So yeah, I mean, I like the Major League Baseball All-Star game and everything that surrounds it. But I did like that the NBA this year did everything in one night. Now, normally, I guess it's fun to have the night before the futures game and the slam dunk competition, the skill. They got to get rid of that skills competition because no one tries in that. I watched that. I mean, everyone is like, honestly, I could get around there faster. I'm not kidding you. I could get around faster. I could definitely make the pass through the tire, 100%. And then everything else after that. I'll make the 3. I'll beat them all.
I smell a
That's
challenge.
Not the point. I'll tell you this. It's going to get done way faster than they did. Getting around the little, like what would be cones. They were like, everyone's going half speed. The 3-point competition was sick.
They're showing off their shoes.
Yeah. The 3-point competition, that's got to stick around. That's the best one. That is now, it used to be the dunk. That's the best one because that's all anyone cares about anymore. And to watch Steph Curry shoot a fucking basketball is a thing of beauty. All those guys put up good fights, but Zach LaVine put up a good show and, everyone, but it was, Steph Curry's the best 3-point shooter in the world. And then the dunk competition, they did at halftime, which I was like, oh, okay. How are they going to fit this in? They only had 3 guys. And they have to figure out a new way to do it. Like, I don't know. I like the condensed version of it. I just feel like you only get one dunk. You get one shot at it. It takes and if you don't get that dunk, you got to try another dunk because to me, the oh shit moments always come from seeing someone do a dunk for the first time. And like, especially when you haven't seen it before, it's not ever been from like, oh, he missed it. And then when he did it again, it was like, oh, like I never was like, oh shit. Like, I knew it was coming this time. So the joke isn't as funny. You know what I'm saying? The dunk isn't as good. So you got to try. I think it's like you try a dunk and it doesn't work or you fuck it up. You got to try a different dunk. Maybe that's the only thing, but it was fun. I thought Opie Poppin did the best. And I hope he had won, but he didn't, the Nick. But then, the game was like fucking garbage, dude. And you could tell those guys were like, we're going to heave this thing up. No one's getting hurt. We're not playing any defense and let's move on. But yeah, I was like, thank God you didn't gamble on this thing because what the fuck? How would you even know? What else? Oh, I talked about golf before. This week, the Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass in Jacksonville, Florida. And it's going to be a doozy. I truly think Colin Morikawa is going to win. I think his iron game's the best, and and if he can continue that putting with the claw grip, he'll be great and probably win. Who else did I pick this week? Let me get my fucking DraftKings out. Let me tell you, Oosthuizen. Fuck. What a pain in my dick. I was so pissed. I had such a good draft last week. I almost made the money with fucking 5 players. Can you believe that shit?
It's impressive.
All right. This week I have, and you can steal it. Steal it if you want to, you fucking bastards. Colin Morikawa. Tommy Fleetwood. Patrick Cantley. Max Homa. Scotty Scheffler. And Ben On. All right? And I'll tell you this right now. You take your 6 guys. I'll take my 6 guys. Let's go to battle at the Players Championship. All right? Let's see whose nerves when they come up to 17 and the Island par 3 green. Who's going to fucking stick it in on Sunday? Got it?
Got it, Steve.
Mark it down, boys. Mark it down. What else you guys want to talk about? Oh, can I say something about the Yankees first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Playing well. The starting pitching looks really good. That was my worry. Domingo Germán looked great. Devi Garcia, great yesterday. Talion, Kluber, Cole, of course. Jordan Montgomery looked good. But Zach Britton went down with bone spurs in his fucking elbow. Headed back to New York. Has to have surgery. Probably 2 to 3 months. So that is a problem because he is our setup guy to Chapman. He's lefty, which means you got to replace him with another lefty. Unless you want to go, you can't move Chapman up to the 8th inning. So it's a problem. It's a big problem. And I don't think it's going to be that big. I'd rather have it happen now than later on in the season. But again, it's like another season where we can't get off the fucking blocks with our A team. We can't get off the goddamn blocks. And this isn't like a hamstring or anything like this. It's just a fucking bad luck injury. But still, I was pissed. But they look good. Starting pitching looks good. And then we can hopefully overcome one reliever for a couple months. But yeah, and I don't know why they're not putting all the spring training games on. Like, what fucking package do you have to have all the spring training games?
They're not putting them on MLB's
Am I
package? Gone? No, is it me?
Sometimes they don't even air. Oh, no, it was me. It said my connection's unstable again.
Gotcha.
I'm fucking pissed about this.
No, maybe because they don't have all the rights to the spring training games. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, but it's like they have to be on somewhere. This is the 21st century.
Get a pirated Yes Network stream.
I have Yes Network. I have it all. I pay for everything. Some of these, I'm talking about, they don't put cameras at the fucking stadiums, Brenton. I'm watching the game on some guy's iPhone on the Reddit feed. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? This is true bootleg shit. This is fucking Jamaica Ave.
Sounds like you got to write an angry letter to the commissioner.
Speaking of Jamaica Ave, did anyone see Coming to America 2 yet?
Not yet.
Oh, I heard it's a real pile of shit. That's just what I heard. Word on the street is. I heard word on the street is a real fucking horror show.
Speaking of real horror show, learned a fun fact watching the Sabres game the other night, watching them blow a 4-2 lead in a shootout to the Flyers. They have not won a game in March since 2018. They have 22 straight losses. I didn't even know that was possible. 22 Whoa. Straight March losses. That has to be a record. They're going to break the Oakland A's record. They're just going to keep going. We're never going to win again in March.
Wow.
And get this first week of March, they played the Islanders 3 times. They lost all 3 of those games 5-2. I didn't know that was possible. 5-2.
How do you not beat a team once?
I watched the same game 3 times in a row.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Jack Eichel is hurt. He is not playing. Dominik Hasek pulled the same shit 20 years ago. He's probably out. Hopefully we get the lottery pick. but it is just a mess. It's a mess. Well, while the Bills are on the rise, the Sabres are the worst team in hockey, and it's only getting worse. We're going to lose another coach. We're going to lose our captain.
They're going to lose Eichel.
Sucks.
He's going to sign somewhere else.
Eichel is gone for sure.
Let's go Rangers. I'll tell you this. Dak Prescott, 4 years, $160 million. I didn't see that coming. I thought for sure they were trading for Russell Wilson.
Either. Yes.
I think they should have traded for Russell Wilson.
Definitely. To pay that amount of money, and you gotta pay Amari Cooper, and you're already paying Zeke. It's the same thing that we talked about with the Chiefs. It's like, where's the rest of the team? How are you going to pay for the rest of the team? They average, like, I think for the other 49 players to build or 50 players to build the roster, it's going to average 2.1 million a player. Like, who's going to block? Who's going to tackle? They don't have any money.
They have a lot of good offensive linemen too. They have to pay those guys. They're going to want the money that the good offensive linemen deserve.
They're cutting. And I just got a text. John Brown was released by the Bills.
Oh.
John Brown's gone. So that'll open up some cap space. So is Quentin Johnson.
Yeah,
I heard
Jefferson,
today,
excuse me.
Also that the Bucks, they put the franchise tag on Godwin and then they gave a contract to David.
Yes.
But then who's their other rusher on the other
Barrett.
side? Shaq Barrett's going to be probably a free agent. So let's go Giants, man. We didn't get JJ Watt. Would you guys pay for Shaq Barrett in Buffalo?
We have some cap space now.
That's what I'm saying. Rush the passer.
We got to do something. We got to do something to replace Jefferson. So.
And they didn't need that cap space, so they were obviously making room for something bigger.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. And I'm hoping Russell Wilson gets to go somewhere.
I think he's the Bears' only plan. He seems to be the Bears'
The Bears need to make an aggressive move, and they either need to get him or they need to get Deshaun Watson. And they could do either one of those. They can make that work.
Oh, last thing I need to, what happened with Myers Leonard, this basketball player? He was on
The Heat.
the Lakers. Yeah,
he's on the Heat.
The Lakers.
But he's
No,
he was on. He's got in trouble because he was on, I guess, playing a video game on Twitch, and he said, I don't know what he said, but it was anti-Semitic. I assume he said Jew, right? Did he call someone a Jew?
No
Look,
idea.
Steve, if he can't say that on his Twitch, what makes you think you can say it on the podcast so freely?
Well, no, I'm just saying, I assume that's what, a worse version of a Jew. But I assume he called some,
during
the only
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. What did he say?
And he's the only player last year to not kneel during the national anthem. I don't know if that's
Ooh, this isn't looking too good.
There it
for
is.
him.
There it is. We don't need to say it, but there it is. It's a four-letter.
Well, yeah. See, now that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yep.
That's that's pretty intentional. That's a flagrant foul on Myers Leonard. I'm gonna call a flagrant foul. And so I guess Julian Edelman has come to his side to try to talk to him about how he can reconcile and this and that. It's a big but the problem is he chose to say something derogatory about a lot of the people that help with the reconciliation process. A lot of great lawyers and publicists are not going to be at his disposal because of probably sour grapes. I'm telling you, you got to watch out, dude. You got to watch out with what you say. Thank God nobody listens to this. Thank God no one cares about what we have to say. We can get away with whatever the fuck we want. That's the beauty of what we have on our plate, right? That's what we have in front of us. Freedom.
And we got a solid fallback plan.
It rattles in that thing. It rattles around. Oh my God. One day I want you to eat that. I want to get a gold coin filled with chocolate. And I'm going to say it right now. That's my Doge.
I will eat this if it gets to $1.
Dude, if that thing gets, I don't even know what that is. I don't want it. I don't want it in my life. Don't give it to me.
have to give it to you. It's going to change your life.
All right.
It's been blessed.
Can either of you guess the price of GameStop stock at this moment?
All right, hold on. Before we do,
up on my phone, so
shit,
I can't,
I'll do
Emma
it. I'll
and
do
Steve,
it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Tell me what it was at when we started the podcast.
Okay, when we started the podcast, GameStop was trading at, well, it was 337 at 1220, and then at 1245 is 198.
Okay. So 198 when we came on the air.
Yep.
I'm going to say right now it is at $145. Emma, your turn.
I'm gonna go. I say 152.
You guys have no faith.
I have no
No
idea.
faith in Reddit. No faith.
Okay, so
No, of
everyone
course I
went
have
it
no
down. It
faith
went
in
up
Reddit.
now. Now I know it went up. Okay, now I know it went up. What did it go up to?
We're hovering around 270 right now.
Nice.
Oh, so it's gone up about 80 points since we started the podcast.
It's changing lives.
So instead of spending this hour with you guys, if I just put $100,000 into fucking GameStop,
You'd be a millionaire.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what these decisions that I'm making. You know what I have to do after this? I have to go fucking to replace my own windshield on my car. Do you know why? Because
you don't trust the dealer.
No, because I threw a baseball through it yesterday.
Oh, damn. Really?
Yep.
Why didn't you lie and say some neighborhood kid did it? You don't know. It was an accident.
Yeah, I will. But I mean, I haven't done it yet. I know it was me who did it.
The insurance gets that story.
I'll wait till this afternoon to put this up on YouTube. So after you figured out your windshield.
All I heard was in my head, because Joan and I were playing catch and I threw it right over his head. And all I heard was the smash. And I hear in my head, I hear Brody, damn it, chest to chest. This is how accidents happen. That could have been a child's face.
You don't lift your shoulder. You lifted your shoulder.
Oh my God, dude. So yeah, I have to.
I just had to replace my windshield on my car too.
Really?
It's fun. Yeah, it cracked while we were driving, and then I got in a huge fight with my insurance company because they won't cover it.
Wow. I don't know if I have to. I'm hoping I don't have to replace the whole thing. I really am hoping I don't. It's like $1,100 if I have to replace the windshield.
Do you have insurance?
I do, but I don't know if I want to go through it. I might not. I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
But in any case, I'm not. I'm hoping that the crack is like this big. It's like almost a baseball size. It didn't go through. It just cracked it, so that they can maybe just replace that one spot.
I don't think that's how glass works.
What about those infomercials with the liquid? Just get like a tub of that stuff.
Maybe.
And just splash it on there and see what happens.
When I had to do mine, they said if it's more than 6 inches, they replace the whole windshield. If it's under 6 inches,
that's what they said too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, what is it, like 6 inches long?
So I mean, I'm trying. I'm like, look, that's 5.5. I'm like, I'm going to do the opposite of my cock. I'm like, that's not 6 inches. It's 5.5. Look, everyone's got their problems. That's mine. Yeah. I'm costing myself stupidity, dumb mistakes I'm making, dumb mistakes.
Oh, I did. I got frustrated about something the other day and I threw my phone across my kitchen, which is really immature of me. And I shattered the whole back screen of it. It's completely fucked. And I looked it up, $400 to replace that. 400 to replace the back screen. Not even the screen that you look at's fine. The back screen is fucked.
Oh my God.
I'm
Do you
just
need
gonna
the back
leave it.
screen for anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm afraid to take the case off because I think it will rain glass, but I think I'm going to do it. And then I'm just going to put like packing tape over it so it stops and put the case back on. And we're just going to live with it like that.
Fuck yeah. Is it under 6 inches? You have
Is it under 6 inches? Yeah, I think so. Do you think they can fix it?
Oh God. All right. Well, that's the podcast for the week. Oh,
one
sorry.
last thing.
Go ahead.
One last thing. The Grammys are this weekend.
Who gives a fuck about music?
All Things Comedy is nominated for a Grammy for Bill Burr's comedy album Paper Tiger. So
that's amazing.
Hopefully Paper Tiger wins and Bill gets a Grammy and All Things Comedy will get a Grammy.
That would be awesome, actually. Yeah, I'll watch that. Did you see that tweet? Bruno Mars put out a tweet about how like out of work musicians deserve to perform at the Grammys because they're struggling right now. And it was kind of like, Bruno Mars, you're not struggling. All these other musicians who are like selling their gear to pay their rent are struggling. You're Bruno Mars. You're
and
not
all the independent
struggling.
venues that have been shutting down permanently.
Yeah. And he was like, let me play at the Grammys. I'm a struggling artist. Everyone was like, that is so tone deaf.
You are. Yeah. Yes. Very tone deaf.
Embarrassing.
Who is Bill up against in the category?
It's Jerry Seinfeld, Patton Oswalt, Tiffany Haddish, and somebody else. Maybe
Jim Gaffigan?
Jim Gaffigan, probably.
Well, Bill deserves to win.
Yeah. Paper
Yeah,
Tiger was fucking awesome.
But ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. I mean, it's voted on. They say it's voted on by the peers, but those peers seems like the Grammy for the comedy album is always whoever is like the most iconic comedian wins it.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
never
so
like
comedy
this was the best
peers?
album.
Like comedy peers vote
That's what
on
they
it?
say, but I don't know who actually is in like the whoever gets to vote on the comedy.
Interesting.
Probably
Well,
just the same old white people that vote on everything.
like we end the podcast every week, a little different this week. Go Bill.
Go Bill. Yeah, look at that, Em.
Go Bill.
Hey. Go Bill.
Go Bill. Beautiful.
Bert.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that is the podcast for this week. Thank you very much for listening, watching, consuming it, and please tell other people about it. The rain's coming back. It's time to go. My internet's going to be knocked off in a second. So thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.
Go Bill.